I decided to take a little stroll after work one day last month in the West Village. I had no money to spend, but that didn't stop me from shopping with my eyes. While I walked down Bleecker, I passed a boutique that I had never heard of before. It had that Scandinavian minimalist look that most 40-year-old women in the neighborhood go for. Racks of neutral tone basics lined the walls. I peeked through the window to see a creamy yellow button-down hanging over a white ribbed maxi dress. From a distance, the outfit was stylish. But up close, loose threads, wonky buttons, and already wrinkled polyester fabric. All of this wear just from being hung up and brushed over by prospective shoppers. I didn't check the price tag, but considering the luxury shops around, I can only assume I was looking at $300 worth of junk. Earlier that same day, a wealthy girl I knew in college was posting her wedding photos from the weekend before on Instagram. She looked fabulous, chic, feminine, and classy. Curious, I looked up the brand she wore for her rehearsal dinner, and again, I was shocked to see an $8,000 dress advertised on their website with a loose thread dangling from a wonky neckline. Now, I'm not new here. I've been studying fashion my entire life, and I have made my hatred of fast fashion giants like Zara and Shein a personality trait, so I understand that clothing across the board has dropped in quality. But what I can't believe is that people will still buy it. I have always found it strange that people will pay $50 for a bowl of pasta and a drink that they will scarf down within minutes at the right restaurant, but hesitate to spend the same amount on a t-shirt that they could wear for years. And maybe that's because people don't think of wearing clothes for years. They think of clothing in terms of an event, a season, or a vacation. I can't believe how often I hear my coworkers say, "I need a new outfit for the trip I'm going on." I mean, don't you already have cute outfits at home? Or maybe it's because so many people don't actually know what goes into making a garment. Clothes aren't really machine made. Even the cheapest fast fashion tube top was cut, sewn, and finished with human hands. Now, this video isn't going to be a rant or a dissertation about the horrific conditions garment workers face. If you want to learn more about that, I recommend the 2015 documentary, The True Cost. But for now, I want you to understand there is no clothing without human labor. This makes me think, do people even know what good quality clothing is? Have they ever even seen it? Would they know it when they see it? I am 26 years old, and I grew up shopping at Sears with my mom and Forever 21 with my friends. Gen Z has never really had the opportunity to shop in a world where quality mattered more than trendiness. That isn't to say every piece from Zara and Aritzia are horrible quality, but the inconsistency is jarring. I couldn't confidently say to buy blazers from Aritzia because on any given day, they will sell a well-constructed jacket right next to one without lining or real pockets. Despite the internet's obsession with quiet luxury and old money aesthetics, there hasn't been any meaningful shift towards actually buying better clothes or educating ourselves. Let's be clear, dressing in quiet luxury is not possible in $20 polyester separates. Quiet luxury refers to brands and garments that do not rely on logos to display status. To the untrained eye, the Summer Walk loafer by Loro Piana looks just like any other slip-on shoe, but to people in the know, it is a $1,000 status symbol from one of the most prestigious fashion houses that your mother in Iowa has never heard of. There's a certain brand of street interview that has been popping up on my For You page, where random women are asked to guess which of 2 to 3 outfits is the most expensive. Not to brag, but I have a 100% success rate on this little game. It seems to me that many people out there, especially women my age, need a little education when it comes to shopping smarter and buying items that will last. This isn't to say that a high price tag equals high quality. Even heritage houses like Chanel and Dior are not immune to our modern quality erosion. Since 2019, the price of a Chanel classic flat bag has more than doubled, crossing over 10,000 euros in many markets. Yet, there are growing reports of stitching issues, peeling leather, hardware tarnishing, warped structures, and loose linings. Before 2009, a Chanel flat bag would cost you $2,500 and it came with a chain plated in 24 karat gold. Now they cost 5 times that and you are left with wonky corners and plastic coating. Many collectors now prefer to shop for vintage Chanel, believing older models were made with stricter standards and more care. And it's not just the product. The so-called luxury experience has dissolved into something more like waiting at a line at the DMV, standing in a queue outside of the boutiques, dealing with distracted sales associates, and being told you can't even buy something unless you were a loyal customer in the past. Chanel now enforces buying limits on their most coveted bags. The average customer is limited to 1 classic flap or cocoa handle per year in many markets. Don't mistake prestige for perfection. It's time for you to know thyself and to be brutally honest about how much time, thought, effort, and money you are willing to spend on your style. The other day, I pulled out my beautiful 100% suede 1990s Halston pea coat from the back of my closet. I found it at a Goodwill in Maryland for $7 back in college, and it is one of my greatest thrift finds ever. But after years of subway stains and general New York wear and tear, it was nearly ruined. A leather spa quoted me over $500 to restore it. And that's when I had to face reality. Did I love this coat enough to commit to that kind of upkeep year after year? And the answer was no. So I let it go and decided that as much as I love suede, it doesn't belong in my closet at this time. Just as important as buying quality clothing is taking care of it. You can splurge on a 100% cashmere sweater from Brunello Cucinelli, but if you throw it in the washing machine with your jeans, you might as well have trashed it. Care labels are not optional, and before you buy, you need to take stock of what the garment actually demands from you. A sweater that requires dry cleaning after every wear is a far bigger commitment, financially and physically, than one that only needs it a few times a season. I recommend that you think back to your lazy day outfits and try to think about what made you choose one item over another. Did you skip the high-waisted slacks because they needed ironing? Did you avoid your high heels because your commute is on a bumpy subway? Are you someone who likes to wear socks with their shoes, so you went for sneakers instead of ballet flats? And then, of course, there's work. For some of us, uniforms or scrubs make personal style feel irrelevant. Even at my own relaxed corporate office, where people show up in suits or sneakers interchangeably, I often feel uninspired to wear my best pieces just to see the same 20 coworkers I see every day. Usually the hang-ups come down to 2 things: a lack of motivation, you're stressed, tired, or just not in the mood, or a sense that you are wasting a good outfit on a boring day. You feel like you should be saving those pieces for a special occasion. And I get it. Nothing stings like spilling coffee on a brand new top. But clothes are meant to be worn. The more you hide them away, the less joy they're going to bring you. It's time to get over the fear of ruining your favorites and start wearing what you actually love. Speaking of wearing the clothing you love, it's time to reflect on your purchases of the past. According to a 2023 article on earth.org, America alone sends an estimated 11.3 million tons of textiles to landfills every year. That's about 85% of all textiles produced. Even more shocking, the average number of times a garment is worn has declined by 36% over the last 15 years, with most items being discarded after only 7 to 10 wears. That last statistic is particularly scary, but let's address the first one. Most clothing does not need to go in the trash. It can be donated, resold, passed down, or even better, fixed. Please don't let throwing something in the trash be your first response just because you're tired of wearing it. I will be diving deeper into repairs in the next question, but it's worth stating now that clothes should not be disposable by default. This statistic, wearing a garment less than 10 times, is actually a fundamental that the fast fashion industry grew out of. Companies like H&M and Zara based their whole business model on it. They saw that customers didn't value clothing enough to wear it more than 7 times, so they made clothing that would fall apart after 7 wears. Cheaply made garments, often using synthetic materials, can quickly develop issues like tears, pilling, and broken closures, making them unappealing to wear. Fast fashion promotes a culture where consumers are encouraged to buy new and trendy items frequently rather than focus on quality and longevity. The best way to combat this wasteful mentality is to buy less and to buy better. But to do that, you have to be thoughtful about what you actually enjoy wearing and what has lasted in your closet. Think about your fashions of the past. What garments, colors, fabrics, or aesthetics have stood the test of time? Of course, your style is allowed to evolve, but I'm sure there are staples that you seem to constantly keep around. Unfortunately, trends are often to blame for people feeling dissatisfied with their wardrobe. Most of your clothes should last a minimum of 5 years if you take care of them, so throwing them out year after year because they don't fit your personal style anymore is a bad sign. If you swore off ballet flats in 2012 because they made your arched feet ache, then why would you go back to them in 2025 just because the girls at work and Bella Hadid look cute wearing them? I want you all to become trend detectives. Watch how certain styles change. Take dad sneakers. From 2016 to 2021, they went from chunky but tasteful Air Force Ones to clunky Fila's to cartoonishly oversized Balenciagas. They got so oversaturated and ridiculous that the pendulum swung back to dainty ballet flats, skinny Sambas, and mesh Mary Janes. It would take far longer than one YouTube video to cover every nuance of garment design and sewing quality. And even with my degree in fashion, I don't know everything. But there are a few simple checkpoints anyone can use when shopping. For shoes, you want to look for stitched or stapled soles as opposed to glued. Glued shoes rarely stand the test of time, and you'll be buying a new pair before the year is up. When my fiance and I went sneaker shopping, we noticed that at Adidas, only a handful of styles like the Superstar and the Forum had stitched soles. And the same was true at Nike. All the rest were glued and are more likely to be in landfills after 1 year. For blazers, coats, and jackets, always make sure to buy ones with lining. This ensures that they are warm, comfortable, and easier to wear. A lining provides a slippery surface that allows the jacket to glide easily over shirts or other clothing, reducing friction and snagging. It also helps protect the garment's interior by hiding construction details and reducing wear. Some linings, especially those made from cotton, are designed to absorb sweat and increase airflow, keeping the wearer cooler and drier. When it comes to fabrics, I don't subscribe to the purist idea of only wearing natural fibers. Polyester, nylon, and elastane all have their place. Nylon is excellent for sportswear jackets and waterproofing pieces. Elastane provides stretch to denim, socks, and undergarments. Polyester can make some garments wrinkle-resistant and more durable. But fabric blends can also reveal quality cutting. Acrylic, mixed into what should be a 100% wool sweater, is a dead giveaway that a brand is skimping on quality. For garments where warmth and breathability matter, natural fibers like cotton, silk, wool, and cashmere will always outperform. If you aren't educated in fabric quality or what skillful sewing looks like, I would highly recommend you check out Jennifer Wang here on YouTube. She will teach you everything you need to know in her little YouTube shorts alone. Thinking back to that top on Bleecker Street, it is crucial to look at the details. Buttons, pockets, edges, hems, they should all be straight and even. Buttons should be reinforced, meaning there's extra thread binding the back of the button to the fabric. If you see things like loose threads, pilling, or sloppy hems before you buy the garment, leave it at the store. Stitching should be tight and reinforced at the edges, meaning there should be extra stitches on top of one another to keep the thread in place. Please never buy items with already distressed accents like raw hems, dirty sneakers, or holes. And be wary of metal accents. Cheap ones are often coated in plastic that will tarnish, peel, and even stain your clothing. Often what makes a garment more expensive is the effort put into constructing it, not just how well constructed it is or the fabrics used. For example, a full circle pleated skirt like this would rarely be found at a high street shop because it would take almost 4 times the amount of fabric and much more time hemming than a straighter skirt. Loewe recently came under fire from fans when they announced a change to their iconic puzzle bag to the Puzzle Edge model. The original puzzle is crafted using 8 separate pieces of leather stitched together. Now, the Edge model is one large piece folded and pressed together, and it has lost a lot of the elevation of the original look by skimping on the craftsmanship. Higher quality materials might take a little more effort to clean and maintain, but treating your clothing right will make them last. Check the care label before making the purchase. Are you willing to dry clean, hand wash, iron, or fold the piece every time you wear it? You don't want to end up with a hamper full of beautiful, dirty clothes you can't summon the energy to get clean. Just the other week, I took 2 pairs of Stuart Weitzman heels I scored online for $20 each to my local cobbler. The repair bill came to 4 times what I paid for them, but for me, keeping the perfect wedges in rotation for years to come was worth it. Now, I promised this essay wouldn't become a sermon on the lack of ethics in the fashion industry, but I can't tell you to shop with your head without asking you to shop with your heart. Every purchase is a vote, and you should consider what it means to put money into a particular brand's pocket. The frustrating reality is that finding any reliable information about a company's ethics can be difficult to downright impossible. But if a brand isn't screaming from the rooftops about all the good work they do, like environmental initiatives, fair wages, or community programs, then they probably aren't doing anything at all. Transparency is a sign of accountability. The more specific their reporting is, naming suppliers, showing certificates, outlining processes, the better. Know that if the price feels too good to be true, then someone along the way had paid the real cost. And I promise you, it wasn't the executives at the top. I'm not here to tell you that you must shop 100% exclusively at brands that claim to be 100% sustainable or ethical. Partly because those claims are notoriously hard to verify, and partly because perfection isn't realistic. What I can encourage you to do is to shop secondhand when you can, buy less often, and when you do spend your hard-earned money, take a moment to research who you are supporting. Ask yourself, how do they treat their workers? How do they source their materials? What kind of impact are they making? Because style isn't just about how you look. It's also about the world you're choosing to support. The truth is, clothes are never just clothes. They are someone's labor, they are resources from the earth, and they are hours of your life spent earning the money to buy them. So why would you treat them like they're disposable? If you slow down, buy smarter, and care for what you own, you won't just look better, you and your pocketbook will feel better. Really good style is not a price tag. It's not a trend. It's a mindset. So let's stop shopping with impulse and start shopping with purpose.